Have you ever felt like you're standing at the edge of something greater, but you can't see the path ahead? That quiet tension in your chest, the restless fire that won't let you settle, the feeling that there is a purpose waiting for you, but it's just out of reach. This is the moment when God begins his work. You might feel uncertain, unprepared, or even broken. You might question why life seems to test you relentlessly, why doors close when you expected them to, open while the nights feel longer than the days. And yet, it is precisely in these moments that transformation begins. Right now, in this exact season of struggle and waiting, something extraordinary is taking shape inside of you. Every man has within him a potential so vast, so powerful, that he can change not just his life, but the lives of those around him. But that potential is not revealed in comfort. It is revealed in struggle. It is revealed in the silent, unseen moments when no one is watching. The moments when fear whispers that you aren't enough, when doubt tries to convince you to give up, when the weight of responsibility feels too heavy to bear. These moments are not accidents, they are the hands of God, shaping, refining, and preparing you to stand tall when the world needs you most. Imagine the strength you could possess if you allowed every setback to be a lesson, every disappointment a push forward, every challenge a step closer to the man you were created to be. Imagine waking up each day with clarity, purpose, and courage, no longer swayed by fear or opinion, no longer paralyzed by uncertainty. This is not fantasy. It is the promise of the process. It is the reward for those who are willing to endure, to listen, and to rise. And it begins with a choice. The choice to recognize that the restlessness you feel is not a curse, but a call. Right now, your life may feel fragmented, chaotic, or confusing. You may be asking yourself why the world seems so unfair, why opportunities slip through your fingers, why you feel unseen. But every moment of doubt is an invitation. Every trial is a tool. Every pain is a sculptor's chisel, carving out the edges of your character, shaping the depth of your courage, and strengthening the foundation of your purpose. You are not lost. You are being built. You are being prepared. And the work being done within you is far greater than any obstacle you have faced. By the end of this journey, you will see it. You will look back at the struggles you thought would break you and realize they were the very hands that built you. You will understand that the waiting, the testing, the pain, and the quiet moments of doubt were not meaningless. They were essential. And you will finally step into the man you were always meant to be, a man forged in purpose, refined by trial, and guided by something far greater than yourself. Right now, in this very moment, the work begins. The call is before you. Will you allow it to pass, or will you step into the process, embrace the pain, and claim the purpose that awaits? The answer will define not just today, but every day that follows. And it starts with one truth. The man God is building is already within you, waiting to rise. You may not see it now, but every moment of struggle is intentional. Every closed door, every failure, every moment of doubt is a part of a pattern far greater than your understanding. God does not work in chaos. He works in precision. The storms that rage around you, the obstacles that block your path, the feelings of loneliness or insignificance, they are not signs that you are abandoned. They are proof that something significant is being built within you. What you cannot see with your eyes, you must trust with your heart. What feels like confusion, God calls preparation. What feels like delay, he calls foundation. There is power in recognizing that you are being shaped when no one else is watching. The work within you is silent, but it is real. Every trial pushes you to discover strength you didn't know existed. Every disappointment stretches your resilience. Every quiet moment of doubt tests the depth of your faith. These are not setbacks. They are the instruments of growth. Your impatience is understandable, but is also part of the process. The weight you feel pressing down on you is not a burden. It is a tool, pressing you into the form of a man who will stand unshaken, unbroken, and unwavering. You may feel like your efforts go unnoticed, like your sacrifices are in vain, like the world rewards only the lucky or the powerful. But strength built in the shadows is strength that lasts. Character formed in silence becomes unshakable courage. Faith nurtured in isolation becomes an unbreakable foundation. The more invisible the work feels, the more essential it is. Every rejection, every moment of being overlooked, every failure that leaves you questioning yourself is a hand of construction, shaping a man capable of influence, integrity, and impact. You have been trained to seek comfort, to avoid pain, to run from struggle. But the reality is that the greatest power, the deepest growth, the truest purpose is born in resistance. Pressure molds steel, fire refines gold, darkness teaches vision. In your life, right now, is the perfect workshop for the transformation that lies ahead. The challenges you face are not detours, they are the path. The trials you endure are not punishments, they are the plan. The moments that feel unbearable are the very moments where your courage is forged, your patience is deepened, and your identity as a man of purpose is solidified. Trusting this unseen work is not easy, and it is not meant to be. Doubt will whisper in your ear. Fear will try to paralyze your steps. The temptation to quit, to settle, to shrink will always appear. But the moment you choose to lean into the process rather than resist it, you tap into a force far greater than any challenge. You begin to align with the design of a power, a vision, and a purpose that cannot be replicated, cannot be bought, and cannot be taken away. This alignment will turn your pain into strength, your struggle into clarity, and your uncertainty into unshakable confidence. Right now, if you feel the weight pressing on you, the loneliness whispering doubt, the fear trying to steal your courage, know this: you are not failing, you are being built. The unseen hands that guide your life are intentional, precise, and relentless. The storms you face are crafting a man who will not only survive, but will rise, will lead, and will inspire. Trust the process. Trust the hand that never sleeps. And remember this: what is happening inside of you right now is preparing you for a greatness that the world has yet to see, but one day it will witness. The truth is, pain is not the enemy you have been taught to fear. Pain is a signal, a guide, a teacher that demands your attention and challenges your limits. Every ache in your heart, every wound in your spirit, every failure that leaves you questioning yourself carries a message. You are being stretched. You are being sharpened. You are being prepared for what you are meant to become. The discomfort that makes you restless, that keeps you awake at night, that tests your patience and resolve, is a sacred invitation. It calls you to rise, to endure, to fight through the resistance instead of running from it. Pain is a language, and it speaks in ways that comfort never can. It whispers truths you would ignore, confronts weaknesses you would hide, and exposes the gaps between who you are and who you are called to be. Every time you feel broken, it is because something within you is being remade. Every time you feel exhausted, it is because strength is being forged. Every time you feel misunderstood or unseen, it is because character is being constructed in the hidden corners of your life. Those moments are not signs of failure. They are proof that God's work is taking root, silently, steadily, and with purpose. Your instinct may be to avoid it, to numb it, to ignore it. You may wish the pain would vanish, the struggle would stop, and the pressure would lift. But the very moment you resist growth is the moment you slow your own progress. Courage is not born from comfort. Strength is not born from ease. Purpose is not revealed in safety. It is born in the furnace of challenge, in the crucible of adversity, in the relentless testing of limits that feel impossible to bear. Every trial you face is a mirror, reflecting back the man you are and the man you can become if you refuse to quit. Recognize the power you gain when you stop fearing pain and start seeing it as your greatest teacher. The resistance you encounter is not personal, it is universal. Every man who has ever achieved something remarkable has walked through fire, endured isolation, faced betrayal, and wrestled with doubt. What sets those men apart is not the absence of pain, but the choice to remain steadfast in its presence. The decision to persevere when every instinct says to surrender. The commitment to rise, even when the ground beneath you feels unsteady. The refusal to allow struggle to define you, instead allowing it to refine you. And while it is easy to feel small, to feel inadequate, to feel powerless in the face of relentless challenge, remember this: every ounce of pain carries potential. Every scar marks progress. Every tear is the evidence of transformation in motion. The discomfort that seems endless is temporary, but the strength it builds is eternal. The frustration you feel today is the foundation of resilience you will stand upon tomorrow. The trials that threaten to break you are the very tools that will build the man who cannot be broken. So do not shrink from what hurts. Do not shy away from what challenges you. Do not fear the nights when hope seems dim or the days when the weight feels unbearable. Lean into it, embrace it, let it teach you, shape you, and awaken a strength within you that nothing in the world can destroy. The pain you endure is the process is the proof. And the proof is that the man being built inside you is already rising. Every choice you make, no matter how small, is a test of who you are becoming. The quiet moments, the ones where no one is watching, are the moments that define your true character. Do you speak the truth when it costs you? Do you keep your word when no reward awaits? Do you push forward when comfort tempts you to pause? These are the moments that build a man from the inside out. Integrity is not an abstract idea, it is a muscle. Strengthened every time you choose discipline over ease, honesty over convenience, courage over fear. Each decision compounds, each action adds weight, and every act of steadfastness shapes the foundation upon which your life will stand. The world measures success by applause, recognition, and visible achievement, but the measure that matters most is invisible. It is forged in the silent obedience to what is right, in the loyalty to your principles when pressure mounts, and in the perseverance to act when the outcome is uncertain. Psychology shows that self-discipline creates a feedback loop of confidence, clarity, and resilience. Every small act of obedience reinforces your ability to endure greater trials. Every moment you resist the easy path sharpens your mind, strengthens your resolve, and teaches you patience. The unseen work of discipline today becomes the unshakable strength of tomorrow. It is easy to underestimate the quiet, daily choices. It is easy to focus on moments of grandeur, moments of recognition, and forget that the core of greatness is built in consistency. Do not despise the small battles, the ordinary struggles, the daily demands that seem insignificant. These are the invisible bricks of character, the repetition of choosing courage over comfort, honesty over deceit, persistence over surrender is what constructs a man who can weather any storm, face any challenge, and endure any hardship. Every time you honor a commitment, even when it feels inconvenient, you are strengthening the pillar of reliability within yourself. Every time you hold yourself accountable, even when others are not watching, you are teaching your mind and spirit to respond to principle rather than impulse. Every time you refuse to quit, even when exhaustion threatens to overwhelm you, you are conditioning your heart to endure and your soul to thrive. Discipline is not restriction, it is freedom. It is the liberation that comes from mastering yourself rather than being mastered by circumstance, fear, or desire. Imagine the man you could be if every choice you made was aligned with your highest purpose. Imagine the clarity, the confidence, and the peace that comes when your actions are consistent with your values. The process of becoming is not accidental. It is deliberate. It is painstaking. It is often lonely, but it is also powerful. It transforms hesitation into courage, weakness into strength, and ordinary days into a life of meaning and impact. Every challenge you face is a mirror reflecting the man you are becoming. Every test of character is an opportunity to rise above your limitations. Every quiet moment of resistance is an investment in the man you are being built to be. Do not shrink from discipline. Do not avoid responsibility. Do not seek shortcuts. Embrace the work, honor the process, and trust that each choice you make today shapes the man who will stand strong tomorrow. You are being built. Every act, every decision, every moment of obedience is laying the foundation for a life of unshakable purpose. There will be moments when the world grows silent around you, when it feels as though no one notices your effort, your sacrifice, or your struggle. In those moments when recognition is absent and applause is nowhere to be found, the work being done within you matters most. Solitude is not emptiness. It is a sacred space where character is refined, courage is nurtured, and purpose takes root. The quiet season is where true strength is forged, because what is built in the shadows will endure in the light. The longer you resist the temptation to rush, to quit, or to seek validation, the stronger and more unshakable you become. Silence is uncomfortable. It presses against your mind, challenges your resolve, and tests your faith. You may feel restless, frustrated, even invisible, but the discomfort is intentional. It stretches patience, deepens wisdom, and demands reflection. The moments of isolation are laboratories for growth, teaching you to rely not on applause, approval, or external validation, but on the inner compass of discipline, conviction, and faith. Psychological research shows that solitude strengthens focus, enhances emotional resilience, and sharpens problem-solving skills. It is in these quiet moments that the man God is building emerges, unseen but unyielding. When you embrace the stillness instead of resisting it, you begin to hear truths that are drowned out by noise. You discover what matters, what drives you, and what you are willing to fight for. The stillness exposes weaknesses, yes, but it also illuminates potential. It allows you to confront the doubts and fears that whisper in your ear and to replace them with clarity and determination. Every hour spent in preparation, every moment of reflection, and every day of consistent effort strengthens the foundation upon which your future is built. You may feel pressure to perform, to prove, to achieve visible success before the work feels complete. But the power of preparation is invisible. It is quiet, steady, and relentless. Every unrecognized sacrifice, every unseen effort, every moment when you choose to endure rather than escape, compounds into strength. The man who can withstand silence, who can persist without recognition, and who can remain faithful in private is the man who will thrive when the world finally takes notice. That endurance is not just physical or mental, it is spiritual. It is the proof that what is built in solitude cannot be shaken. Solitude is also a test of faith. When you feel forgotten, overlooked, or ignored, it is easy to doubt your purpose, your value, and your path. Yet the very act of continuing, of persevering, and of trusting in the unseen process is an act of courage and devotion. It shows that you are willing to be faithful, not for reward, but because the work itself matters. Every moment you choose to stand firm in quiet integrity strengthens your spirit, sharpens your focus, and deepens the resilience that will carry you through every storm. Your greatest growth often comes when no one else is watching. The man who endures silence, who embraces waiting, and who persists in private becomes unshakable in public. The storms may rage, the pressures may mount, and the world may remain indifferent, but the work within you is relentless, precise, and unstoppable. This quiet preparation is sacred. It is the forge of patience, the architect of strength, and the crucible of a man who will rise with purpose, courage, and unbreakable resolve. There will come a moment when the weight of your trials feels unbearable, when every step forward seems to demand more strength than you think you have. This is not a sign of weakness. It is the moment when the foundation of your character is being tested, when the depth of your courage is being measured, and when the resilience of your spirit is being forged. The breaking point is not the end. It is the threshold of transformation. It is the point where the old self cracks, where limitations fall away, and where the raw material of your soul is shaped into unshakable strength. Pain and struggle are inevitable, but how you respond defines the trajectory of your life. Will you surrender to fear, doubt, and despair? Or will you rise, push through, and let adversity sculpt you into the man you were meant to become? Science confirms what wisdom has always known. Stress, challenge, and controlled hardship activate growth, resilience, and adaptability. Every moment that pushes you to your limits is an opportunity to discover hidden reserves of courage, focus, and determination that you did not realize existed. The breaking point is where transformation begins. When you feel overwhelmed, it is natural to question why life demands so much, why the obstacles never seem to stop, why success feels so distant, but every barrier, every setback, every moment of intense pressure is deliberate. It is designed to stretch your patience, sharpen your decision-making, and deepen your faith. These moments are not random. They are carefully calibrated challenges meant to mold the essence of your character. What seems unbearable today is shaping the unshakable strength you will carry for a lifetime. The mind will protest. It will beg for comfort, cry out for relief, and tempt you to escape. But growth does not occur in comfort. True power emerges only when you confront discomfort, face fear, and refuse to give in to surrender. Every choice to stand firm, every moment you push past exhaustion, every time you persist despite doubt, compounds into a resilience that cannot be manufactured or borrowed. It becomes a force within you that carries you beyond limits you once believed were unbreakable. Understand that the breaking point is not a punishment, it is a preparation. It reveals your vulnerabilities so that you can fortify them. It exposes weaknesses so that you can correct them. It challenges your faith so that your trust becomes unshakable. Those moments that feel like collapse are actually the architects of your strength, laying the framework for a man who will not only endure life's storms, but lead through them with clarity, confidence, and courage. When the pressure reaches its peak, remember this: every struggle is temporary, but the transformation it produces is permanent. Every trial is an opportunity to rise above your limitations. Every test of endurance, character, and faith is evidence that God is building something extraordinary within you. What feels like breaking is actually building. What feels like defeat is actually preparation. What feels unbearable is the forging of a man who will rise stronger, wiser, and more purposeful than ever before. Embrace the pressure. Face the storm. Stand firm when it feels impossible. Because the breaking point is not the end, it is the threshold where weakness becomes strength, doubt becomes clarity, and struggle becomes the very material of greatness. You are not merely surviving this moment, you are being built. And the man who emerges on the other side will be unstoppable. Strength is not found in grand gestures or dramatic victories. It is forged in the quiet, consistent act of obedience to what you know is right. Every decision to honor your word, to uphold your values, to show up when it's difficult, builds a power inside you that no circumstance can diminish. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is the pathway to freedom. It teaches your mind to focus, your heart to endure, and your spirit to rise above temporary desires in pursuit of something far greater. Each act of obedience compounds into momentum, turning small victories into unshakable confidence and consistent effort into unstoppable progress. The true test of a man is not in moments of ease or recognition, but in the daily choices no one sees. Will you resist the temptation to cut corners, to take the easy path, to compromise your integrity for comfort? Will you continue to show up even when the reward is delayed, the outcome uncertain, and the work grueling? The choices you make in obscurity define the strength of your character and the clarity of your purpose. Neuroscience confirms that repeated, disciplined action rewires the brain, creating pathways that strengthen focus, resilience, and emotional control. Obedience to principle is not just moral, it is biological, preparing you for challenges that lie ahead. Every act of discipline is a declaration of who you are becoming. Each time you choose patience over impulse, consistency over chaos, and effort over ease, you are investing in a future version of yourself who is capable, courageous, and unstoppable. These choices are not temporary. They compound. They shape your mind, harden your resolve, and expand your capacity to endure life's storms. The man who masters obedience in quiet moments is the man who will lead when the world is watching. Do not underestimate the power of small daily sacrifices. Skipping comfort, rejecting distraction, and prioritizing purpose over ease may feel insignificant now, but the effects are profound. Each moment of self-control strengthens the mental and spiritual muscles required for larger victories. Each choice to stay faithful in your commitments fortifies the foundation of your integrity. Each decision to persist in the face of inconvenience is an act of creation, building a man who is capable of unwavering strength, unwavering focus, and unwavering faith. Resistance will always appear. Life will tempt you to abandon discipline, to chase shortcuts, to surrender to desire. Your own mind will try to convince you that effort is wasted, that obedience is unnecessary, that comfort is more valuable than purpose. But the moment you push past that resistance, the moment you act in alignment with principle rather than impulse, you tap into a power that grows stronger every time it is exercised. Discipline is the engine that converts struggle into mastery, pain into progress, and intention into achievement. Obedience is not passive. It is active. It is courage in motion. It is the choice to keep building, to keep working, and to keep trusting the unseen process, even when the outcome is invisible. The man God is shaping is forged in this discipline, strengthened by consistency, and defined by faithfulness. Every decision, every act of integrity, every moment of unwavering focus contributes to the creation of a man who is prepared for the challenges of life, ready for the responsibilities of leadership, and capable of achieving a purpose far greater than comfort or recognition could ever provide. Your life is a reflection of the choices you make today. Every moment of obedience, every sacrifice, every act of discipline is a brick in the foundation of the man you are becoming. Do not despise the work. Do not ignore the process. Lean into it, honor it, and know that each disciplined act is a declaration. that you are being built into a man of strength, courage, and unstoppable purpose. With responsibility comes weight, and with weight comes growth. A man is not defined by comfort, by ease, or by the absence of pressure. He is defined by the burdens he chooses to carry, the commitments he honors, and the challenges he faces without flinching. Responsibility is not a punishment. It is a test of readiness, a forge in which courage, patience, and wisdom are strengthened. Every duty you take seriously, every obligation you meet with integrity, builds a resilience that no storm can break and a character that no circumstance can corrupt. The moment you accept responsibility for your life, for your actions, and for those who depend on you, you step into power. Not the kind of power measured in influence or recognition, but the kind of power that cannot be taken away. The power of accountability, the power of discipline, the power of unshakable integrity. Psychology teaches that ownership increases motivation, focus, and resilience. The more responsibility you willingly embrace, the more capable you become of mastering yourself and navigating the trials that life will inevitably bring. Each responsibility is a stepping stone, building the architecture of a man who is steady in storms, deliberate in decisions, and unwavering in purpose. You cannot grow without weight. The heavier the responsibility, the greater the opportunity for transformation. Carrying responsibility demands courage because it forces you to confront your limitations, face your fears, and rise above excuses. It teaches patience because the results of your actions are rarely immediate, and the impact of your choices often unfolds over time. It cultivates wisdom because every decision carries consequences, and every consequence provides insight. The more you embrace responsibility, the more you shape yourself into a man capable of strength, vision, and influence. The temptation is always to shirk, to defer, to avoid accountability. It is easier to pass the burden to someone else, to chase comfort, or to ignore the call of duty. But the man who endures, who embraces responsibility even when it is inconvenient, becomes a man who commands respect, not through force, but through example. Every decision to stand firm, every action to carry the load, every sacrifice to honor your commitments contributes to the building of a life that cannot be shaken, a reputation that cannot be tarnished, and a character that cannot be compromised. Responsibility is also a teacher of empathy and leadership. When you take ownership of your role in the world, you begin to see beyond yourself. You begin to act not solely for personal gain, but for the well-being of others. You begin to measure success, not just in achievement, but in the positive impact you have on those around you. Each responsibility accepted with courage strengthens your ability to lead, to protect, to provide, and to inspire. You are being shaped into a man who understands that true strength is measured not by what he controls, but by what he contributes. The weight you feel is not a burden, it is a tool. The challenges you face are not obstacles, they are training grounds. Every act of responsibility embraced, every sacrifice made, every duty fulfilled is a brick in the foundation of a man who stands unshakable, who moves with purpose, and who carries a life of influence and meaning. The man being built within you is learning to bear the weight with dignity, to rise with courage, and to fulfill the purpose he was created for. The responsibility you carry today is the evidence of the man you are becoming tomorrow. Faith is not a feeling, it is a choice. It is the decision to trust in what you cannot yet see, to believe in what has not yet manifested, and to remain steadfast when every circumstance screams doubt. True faith is forged in uncertainty, strengthened by trials, and solidified through persistence. It is the anchor that holds a man steady when storms rage, the compass that guides him when the path is unclear, and the fuel that propels him forward when exhaustion threatens to stop him. Without faith, purpose falters, courage wavers, and resilience collapses. The strongest men are not those who walk with ease, but those who walk with unwavering trust in a plan greater than themselves. Neuroscience shows that belief shapes perception, focus, and behavior. When you trust in a higher purpose, your mind begins to interpret challenges as opportunities, your heart endures pressure with patience, and your actions align with long-term growth rather than short-term comfort. Faith rewires your responses to adversity, teaching you to persist, to adapt, and to rise stronger after every setback. It transforms fear into focus, doubt into determination, and uncertainty into clarity. Faith requires courage, It demands that you move forward even when the outcome is invisible, that you act in alignment with principle rather than impulse, and that you persist when recognition, reward, or confirmation is absent. Every step taken in faith strengthens the connection between purpose and action. Every moment you choose to believe, even when evidence is lacking, trains your mind to trust in process rather than reaction. Every challenge you endure with conviction grows your capacity for endurance, resilience, and leadership. Doubt will come. Fear will whisper that you are alone, unprepared, or insufficient. The world will test your resolve by presenting setbacks, delays, and obstacles that seem insurmountable. These tests are not designed to break you. They are designed to refine you. Faith does not remove the storms. It gives you the ability to navigate them with clarity and strength. It allows you to see beyond the temporary struggle, to understand the lessons embedded in difficulty, and to recognize that every trial is a tool for building character, courage, and competence. Faith is also a source of vision. When you believe, you begin to see possibilities beyond immediate circumstances. You begin to identify opportunities hidden in struggle, solutions hidden in challenge, and direction hidden in uncertainty. The man who walks in faith moves with purpose because he trusts that every step, every effort, every sacrifice is part of a greater design. Faith connects your present actions with your future potential, aligning your choices with the life you are destined to lead. The power of faith is revealed in endurance. Every moment you choose belief over doubt, hope over fear, and purpose over comfort strengthens a man within. It teaches patience, fortifies courage, and cultivates an inner strength that cannot be shaken by circumstance. Faith transforms waiting into preparation, struggle into mastery, and challenge into opportunity. The man being built within you is learning to trust in what cannot be seen, to act in alignment with what cannot yet be proven, and to endure in obedience to what cannot yet be understood. Every act of faith today lays the groundwork for a life of unshakable purpose, unwavering strength, and unstoppable impact. There will come a time when standing alone is not only necessary, but unavoidable. The world will challenge your convictions, your integrity, and your courage. Friends may falter, support may vanish, and approval may be absent. In these moments, when isolation feels heavy and doubt whispers relentlessly, the man being built within you is revealed. True strength is tested in solitude. It is measured not by the voices that cheer you on, but by the steadfastness of your own heart when no one else is watching. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act in spite of it. Every time you stand firm alone, you reinforce the truth that your identity is not dependent on others. Your worth is not defined by approval, and your progress is not measured by applause. Psychology shows that autonomous action strengthens self-efficacy, confidence, and resilience. The more you act in alignment with your principles, even when isolated, the stronger your internal compass becomes. The man who can stand alone without compromise is the man who will never be shaken by circumstance. Isolation reveals character. It exposes the weaknesses you may hide, the fears you may ignore, and the desires that distract you from purpose. But it also uncovers your untapped potential, your hidden reserves of courage, and the clarity of your convictions. The moments when you feel unseen, unsupported, or misunderstood are precisely the moments where transformation accelerates. Every challenge you face alone is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the life you were created to lead. The pressure to conform, to bend under criticism, to follow the crowd will always be present. Every step you take in solitude against the tide of opinion strengthens your integrity and sharpens your resolve. Each time you choose conviction over convenience, principle over popularity, and truth over acceptance, you are building a foundation that cannot be dismantled. Courage exercised in private becomes an unstoppable force in public. The man who stands alone with integrity carries a power that no external circumstance can diminish. Fear will attempt to isolate you further. Doubt will try to convince you that the path of independence is too lonely, too difficult, too risky. But the man being forged in these moments learns to embrace solitude as a teacher, a mentor, and a testing ground. The longer you endure without compromise, the more unshakable your faith, focus, and determination become. You begin to understand that solitude is not a punishment. It is preparation. It is the proving ground where a man learns to rely on strength that comes from within. rather than from the approval of others. Standing alone is the crucible where courage, integrity, and resilience are tested and strengthened, teaches accountability, sharpens discernment, and builds confidence in the decisions you make. Every act of courage, every choice to remain steadfast, and every moment you endure without surrender is a brick in the foundation of a man who cannot be swayed by circumstance, opinion, or adversity. The man who rises from solitude stands taller, speaks louder, and leads with clarity. He is unshakable because his power does not come from others. It comes from the relentless building of his own character, faith, and purpose. Do not fear the moments when you are alone. Do not shrink from the weight of isolation or the pressure to conform. Lean into it, embrace it. Stand firm even when the world turns away. The man who can rise alone is the man who will stand victorious when others falter. Your courage, cultivated in solitude, is the cornerstone of the unbreakable man within you. Vision is a compass that turns struggle into direction and effort into purpose. Without a clear vision, a man drifts through life, buffeted by circumstance, distracted by chaos, and exhausted by effort with no meaningful result. But when you define the life you are meant to live, when you see with clarity the man you are becoming, every choice gains power, every action gains weight, and every challenge gains meaning. Vision transforms uncertainty into opportunity, frustration into focus, and patience into determination. It aligns your present with your purpose and guides you through the storms that inevitably come. A man without vision reacts. A man with vision responds. One is pulled by circumstance, the other is guided by principle. Psychology confirms that goal-oriented focus increases resilience, motivation, and persistence. The clearer your vision, the more resistant you become to distraction, fear, and the opinions of others. Every decision, every sacrifice, every effort gains direction when it is anchored to a defined purpose. Vision acts as a magnet, drawing your potential into form and your actions into alignment with the life you are destined to lead. Vision also fuels perseverance. The trials, pain, and resistance you face are not meaningless. They are tests of commitment to that vision. Every obstacle challenges your focus, every setback demands adaptability, and every delay measures patience. But a man who holds steadfast to his vision sees beyond temporary discomfort. He recognizes that the work he endures today is the preparation for the impact he will make tomorrow. Each moment of struggle becomes a step forward rather than a barrier. Each sacrifice becomes an investment in the future version of himself, and each delay becomes a lesson in persistence. Clarity of vision requires introspection and courage. You must look honestly at your strengths, your weaknesses, and your true potential. You must be willing to reject distractions, abandon comfort, and confront the fears that threaten to define your limits. Every day, the choice to pursue your vision, even in small, deliberate steps, compounds into momentum. Like water cutting through stone, consistent focus on your purpose shapes you, molds your character, and carves a path through resistance. The stronger your vision, the more unstoppable your progress becomes. Vision transforms intention into action. When a man sees the life he is meant to lead, he does not wait for permission, approval, or opportunity. He creates, he perseveres, and he moves with purpose. Fear loses its power, uncertainty becomes manageable, and every obstacle is reframed as a challenge to overcome rather than a threat to fear. The clearer the vision, the more aligned the choices, and the more powerful the man becomes. Each day lived intentionally reinforces the man being built inside you, transforming struggle into mastery, waiting into preparation, and endurance into triumph. Your vision is more than a goal. It is a blueprint for the man you are becoming. It gives meaning to every sacrifice, focus to every effort, and courage to every step. The stronger your vision, the deeper your commitment, the greater your impact, and the more resilient your spirit. Stand firm in it, pursue it relentlessly. Let it guide every choice, every action, and every thought. A man with vision does not drift. He rises, he leads, and he fulfills the purpose that has been quietly building inside him through every trial, every sacrifice, and every moment of unwavering focus. Every struggle you endure, every sacrifice you make, every trial you survive is laying the foundation for a harvest of transformation. The pain that once felt unbearable, the pressure that once threatened to crush you, the setbacks that once felt like failure, all of it is producing something greater than you can see in this moment. Growth is rarely visible in the present. Strength, resilience, and purpose often emerge quietly, like roots taking hold beneath the surface before the tree rises tall and unshakable. The victories you will celebrate tomorrow are being cultivated today in the soil of endurance and persistence. The harvest is not an accident. It is the result of deliberate choices, consistent effort, and unwavering faith. Every act of discipline, every